Hello, super students. Today we're in chapter 17 of your textbook. You can follow along under content and download the PDF of the textbook. We're on page 368, table 17-2. We're going to be talking about file extensions today. This chapter deals a lot with operating systems and file types and all kinds of things about files. So I think this is pretty relevant, though, and what you're going to run across. Some of the other things you may or may not run across. Pretty sure you're going to run across file extensions in your travels with technology. What are file extensions? Well, file extensions generally are like a 1 or 2 or 4 letter code that goes after the name of a file, and they describe what the category of the file type is, or what it does, or the program it's attached to, or the standard it comes from, or something. So you probably have heard of DOCX or DOC, okay, or EXE, or HTML. We're going to be talking about JPEG today, which is .jpg or JPEG. Generally speaking, it's the first one. It's usually a 3-letter. You may or may not see these extensions when you're just in Windows or Mac or Linux or Chrome. Sometimes these are turned off by default. You can turn them back on so you can see them, but generally they're turned off. So we're going to be talking about what is JPEG today. That's just one of many, many, many file extensions. So in the early days of graphics and programs and computers, file sizes were very large with graphics. There weren't many choices with what you could do. And as a result, you had large file sizes. And as programs got more advanced, the file sizes got bigger. Well, the problem is that storage was at a premium. Things like floppy drives, zip drives, hard drives, they were generally smaller. And sometimes these graphics would be large, and not just the hardware, but like your computing power to be able to open these things, it was really hard. And so there needed to be some new technology that dealt with this. So what came about was the JPEG in 1992, and it's based on compression technology. And you're like, well, what is that? And compression basically means, as it sounds, you're compressing something and you're changing the dynamics of what it is. And so you start with a file, program, a graphic file, it's at 100% quality. And then as you compress it with the technology, the size of the file goes down. Not the resolution itself, not the size of the picture, but the file size of the picture can go down. Now also the quality goes down as well. So I'm going to demonstrate that, and that's going to be part of our assignment. So let's go to JPEG on Wikipedia. You'll notice that there's a gigantic entry here, and you can go down through this if you like. What's important for our purposes is I want you to go all the way down to this area down here about, it says effects of JPEG compression, okay? And this is what we're going to get into. The naked eye, the human eye can perceive quality changes, okay? The naked picture itself, okay? So at 100%, the human eye says, okay, great, that's the image. But as the image quality goes down to like 90%, 80%, the human eye still basically from a distance can't perceive a change. And so that's how this kind of works behind the scenes with compression. There's a certain number that you can use safely to compress things down and reduce file sizes without it affecting what the human eye kind of perceives as a quality change, a difference. And this is used in broadcast television to get 500 channels onto a limited bandwidth space that goes through the transmission. Without compression, you can only have about 5 channels. But with compression, you can get down to like 400 channels, 500 channels on that same amount of bandwidth. So for a JPEG, as you can see on the screen here, 100%, you might start at 81, and then 50%, you're down to like 16, and so on and so on. So, but you don't normally have to get down to 50%. So we're gonna show why. So the assignment basically deals with this. So there's a web page that graphically kind of illustrates this. So you have 100% image here. As you work down 90, 80, 70, you can see the file sizes go down, and the quality eventually, when you get down to 10%, the quality is very pixelated, blocky, and it's very noticeable, right? But when you're around 80%, 90%, you don't see any difference, but yet the file size goes down a lot. So here's how we're going to demonstrate this, and here's what your assignment's going to be. You're going to go to this website called compressedjpeg.com, okay? I want you to upload a file of your choosing, any JPEG type file. So you're going to hit upload here. Okay, I have a JPEG file already picked out, and it's right here. Here's the dimensions, here's the size. I'm going to hit open. Okay, you'll notice that right away it compresses the file. Now what we're going to do for purposes of explaining how this works a little more, you mouse over this and see how this little settings thing pops up and it says 2 little gears. You're going to click that. Okay, that's going to bring up the manual compression window. Now on your left, you're going to see your original picture. Okay, and you can move it around with the mouse like this. You can click where the little cursor goes. You can also zoom in and out like this. Okay, you can use your scroll on your, if you have a mouse with a scroll, you can do that as well. All right, so here's our original. All right, on the left, and you can see it's 418 kilobytes, and on the right, this is the compressed image, and it's the size, and it shows the quality amount. Okay, so right now it's compressed at 89 quality. Now you can type in a number, it's like 50, okay? And so it goes down to 99K, and you're starting to see some blockiness here. And if I go down to like 10, you can really now see the blockiness. Okay, that's the pixelization. So what I want you to do for this assignment is you're going to start at 100. That's going to be your first image. You're going to upload that to Blackboard, and then I want you to bump it down to 80. Okay, and I want you to look at that because 80 generally is the sweet spot, what's considered the sweet spot. It gets it down low enough file size where you're down to, say, you're about half the file size. See, 196 compared to 418, which is really great, but you don't notice a whole lot of changes. Like it looks pretty much like the same picture. Anything below 80, though, you start suffering, quality problems. So for this assignment, I want you to download or upload the file, put in 80%, punch it. Then you're going to right-click this and hit Save Image As. And I want you to save that image. Okay? And then I want you to punch it down to 10%. And then look at that, it goes down to 28K, but obviously we have some pixelization, right? That's really bad. But I want you to see what this does. So right-click this again at 10%, save the image. Now you're going to have 3 images total. You're going to have your original image, your one at 80%, and your one at 10%. You're going to upload all 3 of those images to Blackboard to the assignment to complete the assignment. Notice again the file sizes, how they change. When you go from 100% to 80%, it's roughly half, but you're only going down 20% quality, but you're getting half the file size, which is really great. That's why compression is so awesome. Okay, and then you do 10% just to see what it looks like. And the file size goes way, way down, 93% savings, but at a cost of the picture looks really bad. So that is the assignment. That's what JPEG is. That's this file extension JPEG. That's what compression is, an overview of compression. We can get into this a lot more, but we don't have 2 or 3 years. So anyways, hope you enjoy this overview. And if you have any questions about your assignment, please contact me. Bye-bye.